Hey everyone, we're here with the stars of The Equalizer, Laya DeLeon Hayes and Lorraine Toussaint. Welcome. Laya and Lorraine, both of your characters ended last season in a pretty dangerous situation. Let's talk about where you were and where you are now.
I mean, everyone in the last episode of season 3 ended up in a really dangerous position. And I think, at least for my character Delilah, it's been wonderful to see this trajectory that she's been on since season 1. She kind of started out as this angsty and fiery teenager with a lot of attitude. And as the series has progressed, she's matured a lot and also has found a place to put that passion and that fieriness that she has. It's wonderful because not only does Delilah get to kind of have all the things that she's practiced start to translate in person, but also we get to see Aunt Vi and her work as a team, which is always lovely because, as you know, I love me some Lorraine Toussaint. So even though our characters are going through it in that last episode of season 3, it still was always a lot of fun because I got to work with Lorraine.
I love you. I also know that you are the most passionate woman I have ever met. I know you can do anything you want to.
No doubt.
I can honestly say that the family dynamic reads so well because it's true. I love me some Laya, and I love Queen. And so when the three of us get together, it's kind of effortless in those family scenes. And there's a kind of shorthand and a kind of ease that we have with each other that is the best of families.
You see something different about her?
No, she's just as beautiful as always.
It is significant that women of color make up the primary cast of The Equalizer, especially considering that the show truly focuses on the limitations of the law in helping marginalized groups. What does it feel like to work together on a set like this?
The great part about our set is that we do that in our stories and our narratives, but we're also doing it behind the camera. Our writers, Queen, our executive producers, they're really doing their best to walk that talk across the board on the Equalizer set. So that makes me really proud of what our particular set looks like. The face of our set is quite extraordinary.
Just having Queen and Lorraine, most of my scenes are with them, just two women who have blazed the trail for so many young Black artists. I mean, Lorraine was just talking about it the other day, or it might have been today, honestly. We were talking about how you were one of the first women to ever wear your hair in braids on network television.
Dreads. I was wearing locks. Yeah, they were locks. They were bona fide locks.
Exactly.
On Law and Order.
What kind of a piggish attitude is that, counselor? Are you suggesting that my client was asking for it?
Laya, what was it like to be mentored by these incredible actors you're surrounded by?
So much of what I'm learning just comes from watching them and observing how they move, not just within scenes, or more so just how they are on sets and what their presence is and what they bring to just the environment and into our space. And then, of course, there's the actor part of me where I'm always watching in that way, too. But I think one of the most incredible things is just to see how generous they are as people. So, again, lots of learning in this past 4 years.
Well, Laya, you have fans here as well because several people on our staff were very excited to be talking to the Doc McStuffins. What was it like to transition from that role to something like Delilah or even Angrboda in God of War?
Voiceover was such a different thing, something I didn't even know actors could get into. I mean, I was 9 at the time, so all of it was very new and fresh. The difference between film and TV versus voiceover and then versus gaming and mocap work and what that would entail. So if anything, it's just showed me that you just can't limit yourself.
You'll get your answers soon enough. Well, some of them.
Speaking of having a lot of options, In the show, we've watched as Delilah trains with Robyn, the Equalizer, and Vi, meanwhile, brings a more diplomatic energy. She can talk through most situations and solve problems that way. I mean, Lorraine, what do you make of the different approaches Vi and Robyn take to the mission to help others?
I think the intention of the show is to really be of service to the community. Robyn is doing it in her way, and we're watching Delilah and her generation, the way she addresses it in her generation at school and with her peers. She is of service also to her community, and Vi is the same way. You know, we in this family, we're on people that look away. We're on people that turn a blind eye. We see a problem, we get in there, and if we can help, we're gonna get into it and try to make it a better place. So we try to leave things better than we found it.
Well, Laya, each woman, Robyn and Vi, they seem to represent maybe a different path Delilah could follow. Where do you see her going in the future?
I think I can see for Delilah not only her following in her mom's footsteps of wanting to, or being like this vigilante, but also taking it more seriously and using it as a career and something that she can really get into. But I can also see her going the route of starting with what's in front of her, starting with her peers, starting with her friends, talking about social justice issues in her community. I see her more on the front lines of that, and then ultimately leading to maybe and hopefully somewhere down the line into her mother's footsteps as well.
Mom, hold on. Have you given any thought to what we talked about? Training me how to defend myself, to do the things that you do.
Can we talk about this later?
I am unfortunately almost out of time, but one last question. What can we expect from Aunt Vi and Delilah in season 4?
Well, we're dealing with a lot of issues of truth and trust in this season, and what does it mean to be living truthfully, and what does it mean to be living a lie? We're really going to be pulling that apart, and there are going to be consequences to that examination of how we have been living. Have we chosen to live this way? Are we being forced to live in a particular way? What's the price of equalizing? And there's romance to it. There's romance all over the place. I think there's romance across the board, isn't there? We won't give it away, but there's romance in the McCall home.
Well, I'll guess what that means. Thanks so much, Laya and Lorraine. And for those of you who want a cut of the action, season 4 of The Equalizer is streaming now on Paramount Plus, and you can also catch it on CBS.